Welcome to the LANCave, where we're living as nerds. I'm Patrick, joined by Owen.
Give me just a second. Let me do a print screen.
Yeah.
Save as JPEG. NFT.
You stole my
Got
NFTs. That's as simple as that. You can steal yourself an NFT. Welcome to the LANCave. We talk about gaming, nerd stuff, all kinds of geek stuff. Hanging out on the Falcon as we do. We got a lull going on with gaming news, but at the same time, there's still some interesting things. And Amazon made it kind of an interesting week for everybody, I think. So
I feel like there's been enough, like in terms of like December, where it's normally really light. I feel like we're like above, and especially because we haven't hit the Game Awards yet, which if you are listening to us live, the Game Awards is tomorrow live. We will not be live with it. Jeff, we put in a letter to Jeff. We were like, hey Jeff, why don't you do the Game Awards on Wednesday nights, and we will restream it. We will give you a big giant audience that you could not have without streaming on Wednesdays. And Jeff was like, Owen, I'm sure that's true, but I'm going to stick to Thursdays as we do. And so, unfortunately, our coverage of the Game Awards news that inevitably happens will be, close to a week late. But regardless, we still will be talking about it. We'll have the hype that comes behind it. But aside from that, I still think there's been, I think the last couple of weeks it's still been pretty like eventful. Yeah. Just for a December.
For December, yeah. It's like I feel like the start of the week, I'm like, is there anything going on? And then when you get something interesting, it may not be crazy juicy, but it's got some texture. So I'm happy about it. You've been playing you've been playing Halo multiplayer, but today the Halo multiplayer, the Halo campaign came out. So, but you're not. So you haven't played it yet, right?
No, I haven't. The kid goes to bed literally right before the podcast starts, and he's not allowed to watch violent stuff as of yet. So no Haloing. The most we've played while he's awake. I've played some Mario while he's awake, and played some Pokemon while he's awake, but no shooting. We're trying to leave out the shooting. I will tell you, if you did, like me, I tried to preload the campaign on Monday, went in there, downloaded an update. Theoretically, it should have worked, but whenever I loaded up the game today just to like make sure that I was good to go, like I want to be able to go into it either tonight or right after work tomorrow if I don't get to play tonight. And I load up the game, click on campaign, and it's like, you don't have the campaign installed. So, what? So there was an in-game download of like 24 gigs that you had to, for some reason, initiate inside of the game. So I initiated that a little while ago. Hopefully, it's good. It should have been long downloaded, so it shouldn't affect our stream at all or anything like that. But that was annoying. So if you're looking to preload that, just make sure you maybe like log on with your phone through xCloud or something like that. Get that download going on your console.
That's gotta be one of my biggest annoyances. There's been a few games that have been like that where I'm like, can I just get can you auto update yourself from the dashboard? I don't feel like I should have to wait. I should have to log into the game because if you work, like we work from home, but if you don't work from home, then you can't check it on a lunch break or whatever. Because that's what I end up doing. Probably around lunch or right before lunch, I'll check the console and see. Be like, okay, do I have what I want to play? For later on in the evening. But that should just be automated now. There's no excuse to put that into the game. I hate that. Yeah.
And here's an annoying thing that I've found recently with PlayStation games, and I don't know if it works similarly with Xbox or not, but I, even though I said that I would go all digital, I haven't been going all digital because the games are so cheap. But what I do, as soon as I buy games, I load them onto my console, and then I put them on my shelf or whatever. But that way, the main game is installed on my thing. I have automatic updates turned on. They are on. I've checked several times. I've turned them off and turned them back on, but inevitably, I'll go and I'll want to start a game. It's like game update, download. I'm like, where's my automatic updates, bro?
On disc games, understand. Yeah, it should, because if it's installed in there, it should. Yeah, I gotta test that out. As a bad example, like I've been playing Tribes of Midgard. I'm like completely addicted to it, but like that's a bad example because like that's being even when it's not online, like even if you're playing single player, like it has to check into the servers. So like every time that is a case where it's like
Hitman?
Yeah, like Hitman. So like every time you boot it up, then it checks the servers, then it'll download an update. I gotta check with a couple other games though, because I have been getting a lot of disc games because they've been on pretty decent sale. So I'll have to check that out, because that would be a weird quirk if it doesn't authenticate that it should download the game even though it's installed. Like I would think if it's installed on the console, just update it. I gotta check that out. That's annoying.
It downloads like the first one, like whatever initial is. But if I let's say I leave it there for like 3 or 4 months and then come back. In my mind, every single game, all like 60 of them that are installed across my 3 hard drives, should all just update automatically. My PlayStation is always in rest mode. I'm terrible to trees. I don't. I say screw you, trees. I want my updates, but then my updates don't work. So the trees are probably getting back at me. They're like, oh, you say screw us with your always on PlayStation. Well, I say screw you. You don't get your updates.
Yeah.
Now I'm blaming the trees. That's my official stance. Is it's the trees' fault. For
I mean,
the reason why that came to mind, by the way, is the image right as I started talking
of the trees.
Somebody chopping a tree, and
it's There's a lot of tree chopping. It's repetitive to an extent, but at the same time, it's interesting. And sorry, the game is different and unique enough. The map like auto generates, so like every time that you play, it is a roguelike, so like every time you play you are starting from scratch. There is a survival mode that you can actually save your progress and then go back to. You can't copy and relaunch a different file, but
can't save scum.
Nah, but you can do a saga. The saga is like it's like hardcore mode basically, and then you have survival mode, but saga is more difficult. It's good, but it is kind of frustrating that you do start from scratch, so you have kind of different strategies of like, what do I want to do first to try to get like a leg up on this, but it may make this weaker. The Jotun, I think is how you pronounce it. These are the like giants that come in. One of them is just completely unbalanced.
Oh, the frost giants?
No, the frost one's fine. There's 4 different ones. They all have like their own unique magic abilities. One of them is completely OP, and I've literally had times where like it comes on day 4, which is like 30 minutes into the game or whatever. If I see that it's that giant, I've just quit. Like I've just been like, I'm done. I'm not even gonna chance it or not even gonna try.
That attitude.
No, like I've been like, if it's like the second or third to come up, like I've built myself up enough and I'm strong enough. But like if it's the first one, it's like nope, I'm out. It's good. It's addictive though, and if you're like I said, if you're doing saga mode, you have to sit down, and it's hardcore mode. You can't save. You can't like log out and log back in. So that's frustrating. You can put the PlayStation in suspend mode, in the sleep mode, boot it back up, and you're okay. But you can't close the application. So it is hardcore in that case, but it's fun, it's addictive, and I like it. Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah.
There's like those commercials on something blah blah blah. You like
it? Hey, Mikey, he likes it. Yeah, it was like right before both of our time on that one, but yeah, it's been pretty good. Let's go into some news though. Let's see.
Put an ad on the front page. Cash money for a picture of SpiderMan.
Yeah, so Amazon Web Services had a little outage going on. I am not surprised that there was an outage. I'm surprised how long it lasted, and how many people didn't understand how impacting something like this is. That's what surprised me. Like, if for those of you who don't know, Amazon Web Services hosts like server space. So instead of someone having their own data center like you would say 15 years ago or so, It's like no one has to have a data center. All the applications and the servers are actually in Amazon's data center, and we all just share it. So when it goes down, everything goes down.
So like I literally, my notice of it was, I wanted to buy something, or at least add it to cart. You know, maybe if I'm not ready to act, like, you know, you go through those Amazon purchases where like you kind of want to bundle them together, instead of those ones where you're like, I need it right now. So I was looking for something, and I was like, why is this not loading? And then I just look on Twitter, and I see Twitter's down, and then I mention like just that weird feeling, like, because it's a weird feeling. It sucks that it's a weird feeling. Like when Amazon's broken and it's not Amazon Day. That's the only time that Amazon, the like shopping app, is ever broken, is on like Amazon Day, right?
Yeah.
But otherwise, you know, it works all the time. And so you're like, I want to buy something. I'm going to go freaking add it to my cart and buy it right now. And that moment where you can't do that, in that wave of like, what's the opposite of the pleasure chemical that hits your brain?
So it's cortisol. I mean, I think cortisol is like a stress hormone. So maybe that.
Yeah, maybe that. The opposite of dopamine, whatever that is. And so that hits you, and you're like, "What's going on, bro?" And then I mentioned it to the people, and they're like, "Wouldn't that mean?" Because I'm like, "Amazon's down." You mean like? And they're like, "AWS." I'm like, does that mean the internet's gone? Like, and you know, that's where if you go down a rabbit hole, you start thinking about the idea behind Web 3.0, where it's like decentralized and stuff. But you don't realize how much of your internet, I don't think it's painfully obviously people don't know, but that how much stuff is basically just on Amazon and Azure.
Servers. That's what I was gonna say. Azure is the other one. So if they both went down, it would be everything. But it's crazy. Like there are people that, like, friends of ours who, like, they're like all of their, they have like a they work from home, but they log into a virtual environment, and all of that was gone. Or like the tools that are down. The other one that not surprising to me, but so Disney has a new thing called the Disney Genie, which is like their, like, I mean, they have an app anyways if you're like in the parks or whatever, but this is like the new app that they launched like, I don't know, a month ago or so. That's down. Scanning to get into the parks, that's down. If you want to pay, because if you're at Disney, like, it's really convenient. You have like a little wristband, a magic band that you can scan and pay for stuff. That's down. Everything was down. And of course,
wristband's kind of the scariest thing ever for people with children.
Yeah.
Like, you give your kid that wristband, and it's just like, boop.
Well,
boop.
You do go through a cashier. Like, it's not a self-checkout. Like, you do go through the cashier, and instead of either pay with a card or you can magic band. But yeah, I don't think they'd let the kid. I don't know what their rules are on that. But yeah, it could be scary. But of course, and gaming was also down. So League of Legends and a whole slew of other games were down. Tribes of Midgard was down. I couldn't play single player yesterday. Again, frustrating because I can't play a single player game. But yeah, so thankfully, I mean, it happened during the workday. So for gamers, it wasn't as impactful as it could have been as, like, say, a Friday night or a Saturday. But there's still people gaming during the day, still Twitch streamers that are playing.
And gaming's a worldwide thing, so I mean, I'm sure it affected somebody on the other side of the world where it was nighttime.
Oh, 100%. Like, because that was like, daytime going into afternoon. So like Europe was coming like off their work day and everything's down. It's frustrating, but it's a way kind of eye-opening. At least I hope it's eye-opening for some people to say we're trying to make sure the internet doesn't have these kind of easy choke points, and AWS and Azure are those choke points. Everything being hosted there and everything moving to the cloud. That's why, as much as I like the convenience of streaming, it's nice to be able to host your own server, or to have stuff, to play a game on an Xbox and not have to stream my gameplay like Stadia. If that happened, because I'm assuming Stadia was down. I didn't even check, but I'm assuming, like, let's say if Xbox moves everything to the cloud, or moves a bunch of their games to the cloud, then we'd be done. So, yeah, Could be worse, but
So,
still annoying.
so real talk. Blue pill, red pill. Which, if you were like really faced with the decision between blue pill or red pill,
So
would you rather live in that, like, I'm just gonna go back, do my thing, or do you think that you would choose to be a part of like that real world?
I feel like I'd have to choose to be part of the real world. This is the whole philosophical discussion we could have here on this one. And if we're talking about Matrix here. Matrix coming out, the movie coming out.
If you don't know, you're
month.
talking about the Matrix. You're too young. Go watch.
You're too young. Go watch the movies. Come back here. New movie coming out towards the end of the month, the week after Spider-Man.
22nd.
Yep, week after Spider-Man, which I think is kind of, that'll be interesting to see that competition. I think I would have to. Red pill's the truth, right? Right.
Correct.
I'm getting confused. Yeah, so I'd have to red pill. I'd have to red pill.
If you take the blue one, the story ends.
That's right. Like, I'd have to take the red pill because I feel like I care too much about like objective truth and having as many true beliefs as possible. And so like if someone tells me something and I'm wrong, like I don't mind if I'm indeed wrong, then like I'm like, oh, I can learn from this. But like, sorry, this was beeping. If someone corrects me on something, right, and it's like, wow, like I didn't know that and I'm wrong, I could be frustrated a little bit, but I want to know. I want to understand the truth. So I would have to red pill. I would be complacent. I know that you forget everything if you blue pill, but at the same time,
right.
I don't know. I'd be frustrated. Would you be okay with the extra stressors of a red pill situation?
I mean, whenever. I would like to think that I would probably take the red pill, but yeah. I don't know. After 3 years of this pandemic crap, you never know, dude. I could be probably convinced to just go for some like blissful ignorance.
Can we just go back to like normal?
It really depends. Like, does my life suck already in the fake world? Like, where am I at? Am I like? I think that's where it depends. Like, do I have a good thing going right now in this digital action, or does it already suck? Because if it already sucks, the choice is pretty easy. It's like, well, might as well just, truth set me free type thing.
Yeah. Because it sucked for Neo. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, mostly. Yeah.
Honestly, even though I do want to talk about this tech demo, are you at all excited about the Matrix 4?
I'm hopeful because I liked the first movie.
The Matrix Awakens. Sorry, it's not the Matrix.
Yeah. I liked the first movie, and the second and third just got worse, but it was like you could have been good and you weren't, and it's frustrating. So I'm hoping that it's actually good. It's going to be visually appealing no matter what, but it's just a question of like, is it going to actually be worth it? And do I or should I binge the Matrix movies to watch this one?
I think the issue with the second in particular was making Neo like godlike way too soon.
Yeah.
Like, the coming back from the dead part, I think, maybe if it still would have been like a struggle at the end of the Matrix, maybe there would have been like a little wiggle room there, but then you see him at the beginning of Matrix 2 and he's just flying around, and they're like that was like a joke at the beginning. Yeah. It's like he's just doing a Superman thing, and he was already like way too powerful. And then so like, even though they break the construct and everything, I'm sorry I'm spoiling a 20-year-old movie at this point, but
I mean, that's how the first movie ends. Like, oh, it is on HBO. That's right.
I'm excited that it's on HBO Max. Means I don't have to pay to go see it because I already have that tag. So I will probably be watching it like close to day and date. I'll see if she wants to watch it or not. I did finally figure out I am going to have time to see Spider-Man before the end of the year because I get a week off of work after Christmas and daycare is open. So I'll be looking for some daytime movie action. Perfect. Quiet after Christmas
that's great
thing. So I just have to avoid spoilers for roughly 7 to 10 days.
Yeah, you can do it and coordinate that time off with the wife. I've already had. I thought I had Spider-Man queued up, but I don't. Like, I already had. What's it called? I had a couple things spoiled for me on Spider-Man already. Like, I am staying away from spoilers, and I'm not going to say it obviously on here.
I thought you said I thought you were talking about last week that it was speculation stuff that you think they did spoil.
So I'm pretty sure that the ending, and I'm pretty sure that like one of the after credits, if not, I don't know if there's multiple after credits, but an after credits thing was spoiled for me. I'm almost certain, like, because I keep hearing,
premiered yet, has it?
It premiered in London last Friday, so people have seen it. And I don't know. I'm irritated because there's so many clickbait articles, and I feel like there were some secrets that weren't kept very close that leaked out early. And I think because those leaked out and we know those, other people are grasping for other things to spoil. So it's just really annoying that people are already spoiling things that, like, I don't know. Like, it's like we already had enough spoiled. Can I just watch the movie? But I think it's going to be good. It's just a question of, like, how am I going to be surprised by what happens in the movie at this point?
I'm sure that unless you just literally click on everything, I'm sure that you're bound to get a few. But I mean, the speculation has already been there for like the last like year and a half. And then, dude, did you see that dope animation for the next Spider-Verse?
I did. I almost queued it up. Yeah.
It is gorgeous.
Yeah.
It is so beautiful, like stunningly beautiful animation.
Yeah.
And what was that, like a 30-second clip, 60-second clip, something like that? It wasn't a trailer, it's just a snippet of the movie. You're just like, how good does this movie look?
I loved like, cause the one that I saw, I'm sure it's the one that you saw, like the first half, it's like you see the first half, you see like his universe or whatever, and then you jump into spoilers for a teaser that I don't think that's spoiling anything, but like that's the artwork for the Spider-Man 2099, which is what they went into like at the end, was, and I don't mean this hyperbolically, it was like mind-blowingly aggressively, like in your face, different like colors and like strips of color, like it was like aggressive beautiful streaming color in your face. I loved it. Yeah.
It's so good. I'm so pumped for that. I'm way more pumped for that movie than No Way Home. It's a year and a half.
It's a year away,
but
it's
so good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Have you watched Hawkeye, by the way?
Oh, of course. I haven't watched this.
Okay, I've only watched the first two. I'm a little behind.
Oh, I watched all of it. Was amateur over here? Of course I watched.
Well, it just reminded me because Haley, who's playing Kate Bishop on there, is Gwen, is Spider-Gwen voice.
I mean, that's one thing that I've tried to make sure to do with all of these subs is like really lean into watching the stuff that I'm paying for, right? So anytime a Marvel and Star Wars thing comes out on Disney Plus, it's almost instantaneous. Netflix is growing less and less, but it's still got things like the Great British Bake Off. I watched all of Cowboy Bebop, which was a good show.
I need to watch it. I keep hearing it's good.
I don't understand the hate at all, other than people who just like are truly obsessed with it. Have you seen the anime?
I've seen like not all of it, but I've seen some. Yeah.
Okay. The people who are like truly appreciative, and I say that nicely, but like the people who like think it's like the best anime of all time, which I respect. A lot of people think it's one of the best animes ever made, and I get that. And so there's this level, and like even the people are like, I went into it with really low expectations. Like, no, you didn't, because if you watch Cowboy Bebop live action, if you really actually like sit there and watch it, what you're seeing in this live action thing is what everybody else sees when they see that you watch anime. I truly believe that. Like, whenever you're watching anime and somebody's like, why are you watching anime, you nerd? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
And you watch Cowboy Bebop live action, it's anime. It's
like
anime
it's
in
distilled
live
that
action.
anime-ness into
In my opinion, they adapted like the vibe really well.
Okay.
And maybe you don't want that as an anime fan. You want live action to be live action, and you want anime to be anime. But I respect what they did, and I enjoyed it. It's super campy, and you're a camp guy. You love camp, so
I love it. Yeah,
I think that you'll like it. I really enjoyed it. I think it's only 7 or 8 episodes long, so you could burn through it in a week or 2.
Yeah.
See if Whitney likes it. You know,
Hopefully
I'll let you
she
know
does. Otherwise,
the first couple episodes are a little bit harder to get through. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if it's like supposed to be like exposition or like story building or something, but it's just not as clean. Like, it doesn't flow as well as the rest of the thing. So take that with a grain of salt on that. Eventually we'll talk about video games again. We were supposed to talk about the Matrix tech demo, and I was like, let's just talk about the Matrix.
So to cap off the mattress demo.
The mattress giant demo.
The Matrix tech demo experience. I mean, I guess I'll check it out because it's going to be free.
It's free.
So I guess I'll check
Suck
it out.
It, PC nerds.
I'm not. Because you don't get to. It's PS5 and Xbox Series. I'm assuming. So no PC, but I mean, I don't think that it's going to be mind blowing. I think it's going to be kind of supplemental material, similar to what we got with Animatrix and some other things from the previous Matrix stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'll check it out. That comes out tomorrow, so check that out.
I'm expecting it to look dope, to be honest with you. Because the whole point, like, if you recall from what was it, E3, the whole point of this tech demo is to show off Unreal Engine 5, and you remember how sweet that tech demo was. We were like, we want this to be a video game, and it's not going to be, but I expect like 4K, like 60, like looking sweet stuff. And so I expect it to look cool. I don't know what to really expect, if it's just going to be like Neo and Trinity just sitting there talking to you, or if there's going to be, I don't know. I expect Epic to put on a little bit of a show with it if they're bothering to do it. It is a little bit self-serve, like not self-serving. There's definitely like some, is it ethics? I don't know. No, it's not ethics. But who paid for this is what I want to know. Does Epic own a piece of Warner? Does Warner own a piece of Epic? What's the partnership going on here? I want to know who paid who to make it a Matrix tech demo. But dude, do you remember the Matrix PS2 game? I
loved the Matrix. I loved it. Like, and nobody. Like, I remember there was like, I don't even remember if it even happened. Either we were supposed to have some like online game. But the PS2 Matrix game, the PS2 Matrix game was awesome. It was
what was it called?
Could have been
Into the Matrix.
Into the Matrix. Yeah.
Yes.
That one was a lot of fun, and I feel like everyone slept on it. Like, it wasn't. I feel like it was fun, but it wasn't what we wanted, which is like, you know, an online, like, the graphics weren't quite good enough, but it was fun. I liked it, but like, I feel like that's why some people didn't like it, because it just it didn't blow them out of the water like say a Matrix game that can come out now.
I remember it bombed critically, and I'm like, I had so much fun with this.
I had a lot of fun with that. Yeah. There's certain games that I have fun with though, like that.
I think it was just one of those things where, like, in terms of like a movie-based IP video game, I think it's definitely up there with one of the better ones. Even if it's not what movie-based IP video game is great, other than like Amazing Spider-Man was decent, right? And
I thought Amazing Spider-Man was
the Wolverine game.
It wasn't bad. Surprisingly, there's another one that like I thought was pretty good that like nobody else talks about. Superman Returns on PS2. So it was it wasn't it came on the heels of the Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, like open world, like web slinging in New York kind of thing. It was that, except you were playing as Superman, and I think Spider-Man was better because of the Rogues Gallery and everything, but the Superman game wasn't bad.
It's hard to beat Spider-Man too. Like,
it's hard to beat that.
That was literally what everybody, like, until Marvel's Spider-Man, until Insomniac Spider-Man game came out, everybody's like, you can't beat this top tier superhero game.
Yeah. I
think it's been beaten since then by Spider-Man and by Miles Morales.
it took Spider-Man to beat Spider-Man. That's what had to happen. I would still like like a good Avengers. Yeah. I'd still like a good like Avengers game. I feel like Marvel Ultimate Alliance was close, but it was close, but it's still isometric. Like I'd like what the Avengers is supposed to be. What the Avengers game that we have out there is supposed to be. Would be better.
I made a paper tracker of video games. Like, you know, I talk all the time about the GG app, and I love the GG app. I support the GG app financially for video game tracking. I track every game that I play every year. I'm over 60 games played this year, by the way. Dang. New record by 20 something. But I discovered that I never check my backlog lists in the app. So I was like, I'm going to make a paper one. You know, I'm doing a new journaling thing, a new personal. I'm trying to stay, you know, present and get things out of my brain. So I made a video game one, and I showed it to one of the journaling communities on Reddit, and literally, like, everybody's like, dude, that's so cool. Not everybody, but this one guy, he's like, dude, that's so cool. But Avengers, like, that's trash. Just get that out. I was like, dang, dude, like, out of all the games listed, like, because they're, you know, it's like, I don't know, like 10, 20 games that I have, like, that I'm putting on the backlog are ready to go, that I bought, you know, within the last couple of years that I want to play. And, like, literally, it's just like, you can get that trash out of here.
I feel like Avengers, it's like, I feel like it's just not worth the time. Like, I've put in time on the game. I
just want to play the story.
Yeah, and I feel like even the story was like I kept waiting for it to get better. I kept waiting for it to get good, and I feel like it was just stretching it out. Like the story and campaign when I played it, which is at launch, I felt like the entire thing was like, this is a tutorial for you to see all the characters, and then we're just gonna, you know, we're gonna finish this off, and you're gonna go into multiplayer. Like, that's how I felt about it, and that's what was annoying. Like, that's how it felt to me, is like that it was constructed in that fashion. I've heard it's
then you see
better.
that they do things like add Spider-Man, and there was like no story added really with it. It was just like, here's Spider-Man because we have to.
After a year, like, it was supposed to come out like at launch, or like it's gonna come out soon, and then then we had to wait that long. It's ridiculous, and that being locked into, that's the PlayStation version, if I'm not mistaken, got Spider-Man. I don't know if that changed. That was the original plan. But, you know, the whole idea of console exclusivity and the whole console war, I don't think is a thing in the past. But Phil Spencer says that he doesn't really care about it, and I don't know if I believe him. I mean,
I
think he cares more about subscriptions. Yeah.
So he was talking to a magazine, and I don't actually know what the exact wording of the question was, but they asked Phil about the console wars, which, dude, they're bad right now, man. Like last gen with the PS4 and the Xbox One, it wasn't really a thing because the Xbox One didn't bomb, by the way. It still had respectable sales, even though Microsoft doesn't release them, but they still sold a good amount of consoles. I don't think the Xbox One sold as many as the 360 did, but it still did just fine. Yeah. And but the console wars last gen were not really a thing because Xbox literally had no exclusive titles. They didn't really have anything going for them, other than the Xbox One X was a nice piece of hardware to have. But this year, dude, I don't know if you look at Twitter very much and everything, but like every cross post, like anytime PlayStation says something, anytime Xbox says something, anytime a pundit says something, like you're gonna get the Sony ponies and the Xbox in there, and it's annoying. I'm glad that he commented on it at least, but he says, I spend zero energy on quote, how do I make other gaming platforms smaller so the Xbox gets bigger. I think that's a very specific way of saying that quote, because yes, why would he spend energy making the other ones smaller? But to say that he doesn't care about making Xbox bigger than the other person,
he wants to make it better. He definitely wants to make it better, or he wants. I feel like Phil freaking saved the Xbox division. I think we could all agree on that. But I feel like he's busy looking at how can we take what we're doing and make it better. And I don't mean that in like a marketing buzzword kind of thing. That's exactly probably what they would say at E3. But I feel like that's literally how he looks at the Xbox brand and is like, because he's a gamer and he's like, how can I make this better for gamers? What do I want? What would I like to do? And I feel like he's doing that, and he's empowered enough to do it, and he's got good ideas. I feel like that's what he cares about, and it's not about winning, because competition is good. Competition breeds, ingenuity and everything, but I feel like he's more concentrating on that, and I feel like the direction Xbox is going to go, because it's Microsoft and because of Azure, there's a chance that PlayStation and Nintendo won't be able to go in some of the directions that they're going to go. If they go with an Xbox streaming stick like we've been thinking about, if you could just stream off Azure and stream Game Pass games or, xCloud on a little streaming stick, like basically what Stadia is doing, and bringing your library with you. Like the only way Sony could do that is if they partnered with Xbox and said, hey, can we do this too? Like, which just financially incentivizes Microsoft, because then Microsoft's like, cool, Sony, you can pay us for server space. So
Sony does.
Yeah.
Sony does, right?
They do. They'd have to pay for more.
They've improved PlayStation now because they started using Azure.
That's right.
They bought Gaikai, and honestly, I don't think that ended up working out for them. But they, had their streaming service. Everybody talked about how bad it was. I have heard through my own, anecdotal evidence, but through, I have some decent, not decent, but I have connections on Discord in terms of just people who play a lot, variety and stuff, and have talked about how much PlayStation now has improved since that deal with Microsoft happened, which I think was about a year ago. That
it was around that
Sony started doing Azure. I do have to disagree that, it's not about winning. I think it's about winning. It's always about winning. That's how you get there. Like, the thing about Microsoft though is that Microsoft, as a ginormous $2 trillion corporation, plays chess.
Yeah.
They're not playing checkers.
They're
playing chess. We're talking about global domination is what Microsoft wants. When you're looking at something like a Game Pass, and you're looking at something like an xCloud, you're looking at like the evolution of 5G, and you're looking at things like the Steam Deck, and you're looking at things like mobile phones playing xCloud using our awesome controller mounts, or the controllers that just attach straight to your phone, to automatically make your thing a handheld console. That's what they want. This short-term thing, Phil's not about it. That's where Phil is different. Phil is built different. I think we spend a lot of time, and by we I mean just the fans and everything, the biggest argument right now is that Game Pass isn't making money. It absolutely isn't. It's not. It's impossible for it to be making money. He has said it's quote unquote sustainable. I also don't know what that means until you show me a financial number.
Yeah.
But what he means by sustainable is that Microsoft's a $2 trillion company and they don't care about making money yet because they're going to.
I think what he means by
it's a foregone conclusion, in my opinion, that Game Pass in the next 5 years will start generating lots of money as things like 5G become more prevalent, as things like game anywhere. You want a game on your TV without a Series X? We got you. You want a game on your phone, on the train? We got you. You want a game at the hotel room? Oh, we got you there too. Don't worry. Everywhere. We're everywhere, baby. That's what they want. Yep. It will make money in the long run. So I do think it's about winning. I just think it's not about short-term winning. The reason why he doesn't care is because when you look at the market share, again, I want to stress, Microsoft is a $2 trillion company. It is one of the top 5 most valuable companies in the entire world.
Yep.
Sony's not. Sony is not one of the most valuable companies in the entire world. Sony has a different field to play. Sony, I believe, the last time I checked, let's check. Sony value. I think they're in like the 100 billion.
They're 100 billions, yeah. But they're not in the they're not in the
Sony valuation. Oh, I typed value instead of valuation.
Yeah.
Sony valuation, they are, I hate how that's always like a comment.
Yeah.
Let's say that they're in the $200 billion because there's several different articles that are popping up.
Yeah, I think it's under $200 billion. Yeah.
$200 billion versus $2 trillion.
Yeah.
Folks, is a lot of money.
Yep. Yeah. Well,
that's a lot of money.
Yeah, and when
Sony is very much concerned with console wars.
Yeah. Well, when I think of Game Pass, I think of Game Pass as like Game Pass is like it's not necessarily, it's like it's a slight loss leader, but it gets you in. It's the hot dog Coca-Cola combo at Costco. It's the crazy deal at Costco that you can get on a handful of items because you're going to go to Costco, and the more you go to Costco, the more you buy a handful of other things while you're there. How do you go into Costco?
Costco walks out paying a paycheck.
Yeah, I just went to Costco. I just went to Costco and I spent under $100.
Nice.
And I'm like, that was pretty good because I went in and I was like, I want these 5 items and that's it. And like usually if I go in there, it's like I want these 3, 5, whatever items, and I come out with 10 because there are things in there that I will eat. Like it's usually a lot of food for me, but
those pizzas I've heard are good.
The pizzas are pretty good. They have some fish sticks that are like panko breading, and it's mostly fish. And I know, of course, it's not like health food, but it's like mostly fish and panko breading. So it's not like a bunch of like the liquid breading fish sticks. It's like I feel like I ate some, if you put that with some veggies.
They swear by it in terms of like that's where they buy their TVs. That's where they buy their grill. That's where they buy That's where they buy.
There's such good deals. But like, and if you go there and like, if they're doing that, those, similar to what Walmart and others used to do on like Black Friday, where you had things that you were losing money on. Costco loses money or breaks even on a handful of things, and it makes it up in spades when it comes to so many other things, and then pays its employees well. Microsoft is doing that. Game Pass, I don't think is breaking even for them, but it gets people in the door. If you're playing Game Pass, you're going to jump on there and you're trying out other games. You're buying DLC. You're grabbing that game that's on discount because since you're a member, you get a discount. I'm going to grab this thing. Yeah, it pays off in different ways.
The reason why he doesn't have to be concerned with console wars is because what you said. He saved Xbox. He pitched something. He got something in somebody's ear at Microsoft, and they're like, you know what? Do it.
Yeah.
And it's over. Like, the reason why he doesn't care about console wars is because, honestly, I think it's over. I think he won already. I think it's just, you're just going to see it grow. Bought, and I know Sony's buying studios too, but they own 25 studios at Xbox.
Yeah.
And everybody talks about Xbox not having games, right? Let's look at their like last 5 releases and how they did. Halo came back. They took that year off, but Halo 87 OpenCritic.
87
Forza,
OpenCritic.
the highest rated game of the year.
It's good
across all of gaming.
Yeah.
Forza 9, the only game on OpenCritic and Metacritic to score above a 90. Age of Empires 4, not for everybody, but still in the 80s. They are about to start doing it, and they're going to give it to you for $9.99 a month or $15 a month if you want it everywhere.
Yeah,
that's up to you. If you don't, go ahead and go buy their Xbox Series S, which, by the way, is available everywhere right now. You want a PS5? Can't get one. You want an Xbox Series X? Whatever. You don't care that much. You still have a 1080p TV, don't you? Get the Series X. It doesn't matter. You don't need. Who cares about your 1440 checkerboard? We got something right here for you to play.
Yeah.
Easy, smooth. It looks cute as hell. Have you seen the Series S in person? It's so cute, dude.
It looks like a big speaker.
I think he won. And the thing that's super annoying is that I think Sony knows that they gotta do things, and then they start making stupid decisions like they are with some of their upgrades. Like, we're gonna delist Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy. You can't buy it anymore, even if you're still a PS4 owner on our 120 million consoles sold. We're gonna delist that. Can't buy it anymore. We've even given you Uncharted 4 for free at one point, so I understand they think that they've sold it as much as they can. But they delisted that. If you own the game and you want to upgrade your collection, $10. Okay, we've talked about that's reasonable. Upgrades are reasonable. $10 upgrades are reasonable. However, have you looked into the specs of this, dude?
No.
They didn't even get Uncharted 4 to run at 4K 60. It doesn't run at 4K 60. There is a 4K fidelity mode, and there is a 60 FPS performance mode. The Uncharted collection already runs at 1080 60 on PS4 basic. The Uncharted 1 through 3 run, and so you telling me that you couldn't spend a little extra time making all 5 games in the Uncharted collection run at 4K 60, and you want to charge me $10 extra for a fidelity mode?
And the question is, like,
me, bro?
Are you? And that's nowhere near worth it. But now that I know that all you get was the fidelity mode, but it begs the question: why not wait? The hardware's capable of doing this.
Very capable.
Why not just wait? Put that on the shelf. What they
really want is the PC. Where PC, you will be able to play it at whatever you want. You'll be able to get 4K 144 FPS, no problem. It's gonna. You got anything probably above like a 2040, you'll be okay. Maybe even a 16 card. Maybe, I don't know if you're gonna buy it. I would wait for like a sale or something, but I'd be very curious to maybe buy like Lost Legacy or something for cheap and see what you can run it at as more as an experiment thing. But I'm sure Digital Foundry will have it. So
they're probably
it was just super frustrating to see that they delist the game. So they're taking away the cheaper option to buy it because it's cheap right now, or it was. You can still go out there and buy physical copies if you want for used. I think I saw on GameStop right now you can get, I think, Lost Legacy for $9 if you want that one, and I think for somewhere around the same.
I think I've got Lost Legacy. Yeah, I'll have to double check. Yeah,
but removing the game, so now you got to pre-order that collection if you for some reason didn't own it, and if you can't figure out whatever convoluted mess, because I haven't actually looked into what I need to upgrade. Like, I have Lost Legacy digitally, and I have Uncharted 4 physically. Are they gonna let me upgrade the game? Like, how do I upgrade my game for $10? I have no idea.
Your physical
I'm not
edition.
going to.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, because they couldn't give me 4K 60. That's what I wanted. I was actually thinking about playing Uncharted 4 again because that's the one that I enjoyed the least. And I was like, maybe I was just in a bad mood that year. Like, everybody loves Uncharted 4. A lot of people think it's the best Uncharted, and I hated it. And I don't know if it was just because, I think hate is a strong term, but I did not care for it compared to the first 3. And I was thinking about replaying it, but you're telling me you didn't even give me 4K 60, which is it's the only thing I want out of every old game. Just give me something. Give me
And
even
it's
1440
capable.
checkerboarded.
And the PS5's capable of it. And we've talked about this a little bit on past shows. The watching like what launched on the PS3 versus what the PS3 ended on, watching what launched on the PS4 versus what the PS4 ended on, the developers get better about making these games run more efficiently. You get more juice out of the console towards the end of the life cycle. I'm not saying wait to the end, but if they waited another year, they could have probably done this in 4K 60. Now, are they going to continue to work on it and then give us an update that then gives us 4K 60? I don't know. If they said that, if they were like, "Hey, this is coming out later. We're still working on it," it would suck. But at least you're telling us. At least you're telling us like, "Hey, we're doing this. We're going to get more out later." Similar to Halo. Halo's launching without a lot of features, right? And a lot of people are frustrated about the list of features that I don't have in front of me. Like, what is it? Co-op?
No co-op. No Forge. Co-op. No co-op on launch day. No Forge are the two biggest things. Yeah. And then the lack of playlists.
Yep. So people are like, well, why aren't we getting that at launch? And it's because they're trying to get everything that they could polished enough to launch it in time for the release window. So eventually we'll get the other things. I don't foresee that happening with games like this, with remaster collections like that. You don't continue to get those those upgrades.
They're gonna put this out there, and the only thing that's gonna get updated is the PC version.
The PC version, or they'll patch some bugs. They'll patch bugs.
Maybe
and that's it. Yeah.
Maybe people complain enough, but the fact that this, like, the thing, it has in bright, like, bold text right there in the trailer, remastered for PS5. What's remastered about it?
Yeah.
The fact that you put it in 4K, what's remastered about it?
It says 3D audio and adaptive triggers, but that's it. Enhanced visuals and performance. It says performance there, but it's not.
I mean, there's performance because they did raise it to 60 frames when what it runs at on PS4 is 30.
Okay.
So that's the thing, they're playing
but
around
1080.
with it. But
yeah,
they continue to do just weird things like this, or the fact that, like, Ghost of Tsushima, which I complained about, is that Ghost of Tsushima runs perfectly great. Like, the PS4 version, they uncapped it. It runs at 60 on PS5. Looks freaking gorgeous. But what they did was lock some lip syncing. They like the Japanese lip syncing. If you want to listen to the game in Japanese,
and you want it fixed,
that's hidden behind their PS5 version, which is the dumbest thing in the world. I understand paying for an expansion. That makes absolute perfect sense. Pay for the expansion. That's great.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're like, you can't do that. No, you can pay $10 and get lip syncing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where I don't understand the decisions that Sony is making early, when they're the ones that have to care about the console war, because Phil don't have to care. He does not have to care. Xbox signed off. If Xbox didn't sign off, we wouldn't have Game Pass. There's no way. Like, Game Pass is too crazy.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that we didn't put in this news cycle about Sony's version of Game Pass, by the way. But
yeah, I forgot to put that in here. We should have, yeah.
But Sony is going to be, or at least rumored to be, doing their own version of it. The rumor is that PS Plus is going away, and in a way, but PS Now is going to be in PS Plus as like a base level thing, and there's going to be expanded versions of it, but we don't know the full, like, real details of it yet because they haven't announced it. Maybe we'll see that tomorrow at the Game Awards. We'll see. Or if they make, I hope it's tomorrow at the Game Awards and they don't make like a whole separate state of play just about that kind of service. It would be cool if they just,
it just needs to be a commercial,
like, cat's out of the bag, let's go, Jeff, you throw it out there for us. But you would think that if they're the ones that have to care about this, that they would just stop doing stupid things like, we're going to charge you $10 for this upgrade, but it's not really, it's a pretty sorry upgrade.
No, I agree. I hope that I hope it gets announced tomorrow. If it gets announced, or when it gets announced, I agree. I don't need a full state of play, because I don't need like a 15-20 minutes discussion on it. Like, just show me a trailer that tells me what because it looks like there's going to be a 3-tiered structure, which, Xbox has their tiers. That's fine. As long as it's not too expensive, and as long as they're not locking out features, I feel like it could make or break them on how much those 3 tiers cost. So if it's the price of PS Now and PS Plus combined right now would be the highest end of it, I think it's a problem. I think it'd be too much. If we're talking like $20 a month, I think that $15 a month is what we've got with the Xbox version, and I'm not saying that I want to pay $15 a month, but I think that's a better sweet spot than $20 a month or more.
I think given the price point that PS Plus is at right now, I think you're gonna have to really sell me on something, like make the rumor is that a PS1 and PS2 library will be available. That's interesting, although most of those games don't hold up. There's stuff that I wouldn't mind playing in for the heck of it, but it really depends. Do you start investing in the things like Xbox has with FPS boost, and PlayStation 5 has a native FPS booster in it. It doesn't work the greatest in the world or anything. They definitely need a team on it. I don't know. I'm interested to see what both of them do tomorrow, but honestly, the only thing I really want to see is Breath of the Wild 2 tomorrow. If Breath of the Wild, like, that's all I want. I want Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't think it's going to be, based on what their early schedule is for next year with Kirby and other games, but it's what I want. And if that happens, I literally don't care what Xbox and Sony does. If you just give me Breath of the Wild 2, show me like a summer release date, I don't care. Just bring the hype, give me a name, show me the connection between Skyward Sword, because that's why you released that on HD. Nintendo, I know why you did it. I know why you didn't bring Wind Waker over and all that stuff. You totally, you showed Link flying just like you do in Skyward. Don't lie to me, Nintendo. I want something. Skyward breaths, whatever. Breath of the sky. I don't know. Like, I'm wondering if they're going to keep the breath part or the wild part, and to be like, something of the wild, or they never have before, other than we have the Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons, and then we have
Link to the Past, Link Between Worlds.
We have Link to the Past and Link Between Worlds. Those are the only two times that's happened. And so it really depends. However, with this one, Breath of the Wild, like, sequel, this is like this is like a true sequel, which doesn't happen very often either. Like, Link's Awakening was a sequel to Link to the Past,
and Majora's Mask was a sequel. Like, that's where I'm like, are they gonna? They haven't kept the name consistency with a sequel before, so I don't know. They don't have to. I don't know. You want to talk NFTs, or you want to end it on that?
Ubisoft's going to do it. We'll see what Ubisoft does, and I think it's interesting. Honestly, I really do. I don't think any gamer is excited about NFTs in gaming, because people like you and I were like, gaming is art, and once you start putting NFT stuff into it, it becomes gaming as a capitalistic initiative. And
everything I've seen with NFTs, like I'll say
it's a perfectly Ubisoft thing to do. That's the second that I saw Ubisoft is doing NFT, I was like, who else? If it's not Ubisoft, it would be like Activision Blizzard, and Activision Blizzard can't do anything right now, so it's probably Ubisoft.
So, like, I saw clips of a cartoon that was like crowdfunded and has like connections to, like, basically adds people's NFTs to the cartoon if you hit a certain, like, if you fund a certain amount. It's atrocious. It is terrible. It is in every sense of the word. Like, it is pandering to who knows who. I don't even know who it's pandering to. It is not art. It is terrible. It's like a terrible college project that for some reason has to keep throwing in references and random pictures in the background. it loses immersion, it loses cohesion. It will be the death of art in video games if we're not careful. That's what I say.
I'd say it's probably a little hyperbolic, but I don't find it. I don't really find it compelling until there's a reason to. Like if I could stand to make some money off of it or something like that.
That's all I care about.
I say NFT games, blockchain games already exist. There's several mobile ones, for example, that do. But I just don't know if the industry at large is really ready for it because nobody understands it. I don't understand it. I don't get it at all now. There's nothing that makes sense to me about it whatsoever in terms of that blockchain does make sense to me. Blockchain is a big deal. My wife's an accountant and she's talked about how there's important things that come in with like the signature stuff that comes with blockchain. But when it comes to this stuff that we got going on in the NFTs, there's just so weird. Nobody gets it, and that's the problem.
It's finding the right niche, like where will blockchain and NFT actually work and be something that's sustainable and actually worth something. Like I was literally watching an interview where someone brought up NFTs to Quentin Tarantino, and they were like, yeah, like think if you could own the frame in like Pulp Fiction with Vincent and Jules like both pointing the guns down, like that iconic like frame, right? That iconic picture, and you owned the digital rights to that picture, but at the same time you don't because someone can screenshot it. And like Quentin's immediately like, but everyone has that. You can just copy it. It's like it just gives you some clout. Who cares? Like I can screenshot that if it's something usable, but like I don't know. We're not in that world yet. I don't know what that end game is.
Somebody NFT'd the Rickroll video.
Yeah,
I think. And it was like briefly like paused or something like that, and then it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
that video is gonna be out there. There's a million copies of that video.
There's a million copies of the video that don't have the signature.
I'm like, am I expecting like a future where it's gonna be like patent lawyers? There's gonna be NFT lawyers where it's like you gotta.
There could be.
I don't know.
There could be.
That's the reason why it's hard for me to talk about in terms of gaming. It's hard for me to care because I feel like the world's not ready to embrace it, but somebody's got to try, and if it's going to be somebody, it's going to be Ubisoft, so that makes sense.
I guess so. If you're interested more in NFTs, go find some people that know more about NFTs, and don't spend too much money trying to invest in something at this point. It's way too early on.
You guys want a free one right now? You ready? Let's post.
There you go. Okay. Screenshot that, and there's your NFT. So, and you can sell the rights to it. We've given you permission.
Yeah.
Anyways, hope you had fun. Check out the Game Awards tomorrow if you're watching this live or whatever. Check out the Game Awards. Let us know what you think of that. Check out our predictions on that, and catch us next week where we run down what we thought about the Game Awards and the big announcements and all that. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.